Hi, it's Jane Jackson, and welcome to Your Career Podcast. Here's where you'll get the career tips and inspiration you need to take control of your career. Doctors Mark and Michele Sherwood are the co-founders of the Functional Medical Institute in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a wellness-focused clinic that takes a whole person, outcomes-based approach to health. Their mission is twofold: to eliminate lifestyle-driven diseases and reduce dependency on unnecessary medications. Together, they've co-authored 5 Amazon #1 bestsellers, including The Quest for Wellness and Fork Your Diet, and regularly appear on national TV, including CNN and CBN. They host the weekly show Furthermore and have produced several inspirational and faith-based films with 2 new projects, The Last POTUS and Wealthy Soul, releasing globally in 2025. The Sherwoods are also behind the Kingdom Life product line, offering health-focused supplements and foods like Kingdom Fuel and Kingdom Collagen. Their global online presence reaches millions with messages on fitness, nutrition, hormone health, and functional medicine. Dr. Michele, a former national physique champion and black belt in both Taekwondo and Judo, is an internal medicine fellow and IFM certified practitioner. Dr. Mark, a retired Tulsa SWAT officer, former pro baseball player, and global speaker, holds certifications in hormone therapy, peptide therapy, and nutrigenomics. Together, they are regarded as pioneers in modern wellness and functional health. And now let's welcome the wonderful Mark Sherwood to the show. Hi, Mark.
Hey Jane, how are you? Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
I've been looking forward to this too. And
Mhm.
I'm here in slightly chilly Sydney in Australia, and you are in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so
Yes,
it must be evening for you now.
it is evening and it's still hot here. We're still in the tail end of the summer.
Mhm.
And interestingly enough, I used to live in Adelaide, Australia, so I'm very familiar with the seasons there.
But I'm delighted that you've come on the show today because it's going
Mhm.
to be really interesting to find out about your business and also your career transitions. So, as I always
Mhm.
do, just to kick this off, can you tell us your early aspirations when you were a little boy?
Yeah, I had a clear moment when I think I was in the fifth grade. The teacher asked me and the whole class, what do you want to be when you grow up? And of course, everyone's kids, hands went up. And she called on me that day, Jane. I couldn't believe it. I said the first thing that came to my mind, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. And that was my little kid dream. And I actually was able to accomplish that for a couple of years in your country of Adelaide. How about that?
Really?
Yeah, I went
Ah,
over there and
baseball in
played
Adelaide.
baseball in Adelaide, sure enough. So that was a really cool time.
Ah, now you're going to have to tell me something because I didn't know that you'd spent time in Adelaide. And so,
Yeah,
what was it that brought you to Australia originally?
it was baseball. I had went to college and graduated, and then got a couple opportunities to try out with some American professional teams. And during one of my tryouts, I met a guy who had just returned from the Australian League, and he said, "Mark, it's the seasons are opposite, and it's a great place to play, and each team has the opportunity to take 2 Americans, and this one team that he connected me to needed a catcher, which is the position that I played. So he gave me the number. I talked to them, and 1 week later, I was on a plane. It happened that fast. It was crazy, and I had a wonderful time there.
Oh, it must have been amazing. And also being in Adelaide, you must have loved the Adelaide Hills and the wine
Oh,
country. And it really is a fabulous place, isn't it?
it was beautiful. And of
Mhm.
course, back in those days, there was no cell phones and computers. And so it was just really just me learning how to be an adult and grow up and not live in my own country, but live in another country and being one of 2 Americans on a team, which was really interesting in itself.
And I'm sure that, well, the Australian spirit is so inclusive. You must have felt very, very welcomed there. And
Oh,
so Mark, from pro baseball to becoming a SWAT officer in law enforcement. Now that's very
Yeah.
interesting. Tell me, how did that happen? So you finished your time
Mhm.
playing baseball in Australia,
Yep.
and let's hear the story. This sounds really interesting.
So when I finished my time in Australia, I went back to America to try to catch on with another professional team. That didn't work out, and I got invitations to go back to Australia again. But I thought, it's time to move on. That career is winding down. I'm getting older. I was 23, I believe, at the time, and so seems like a long time ago, and it was. But um, I decided to explore other careers. I had a college degree, so I did a few interviews, and eventually. I had a friend who was a police officer, and he coerced me, encouraged me to go out and apply for that, and I did, and it seemed like a great career choice, to go out and protect and serve my community, and become, one of the few, the proud, the police officer, and then that, within 3 years, I was on the SWAT team.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely amazing. And you have to have such dedication and resilience, very hard work. Obviously, you have to be super fit as well,
Mhm.
and very aware of your surroundings at all times when you're in that sort of work. How did you find that transitioning from a very strong sporting background into law enforcement?
It actually turned out pretty easy for me in the sense that it was always about being a part of a team. And
Mm,
so I took the team sport mentality to do my part as a member of the team to make the team better. And I just used that to be a better member of the SWAT team. And that's kind of been something that I've leaned on in my entire careers, I should say. And it's good. I learned a lot. I saw a lot. Some things people shouldn't see,
mm.
but I took away a lot of benefits from that time.
Yeah, I've done a fair amount of work with the New South Wales Police Force here and
Mhm.
New South Wales Police Legacy and work with former police officers. And it really does take a huge toll on your emotions and your
Mhm.
mental capacity as well, because it's such a stressful time. What sort of strategies did you employ in order to be able to stay on top of everything and being, like high performing and high
Mm.
functioning during such stressful times that you must have been encountered?
It was tough.
Mm,
Shift work,
mm,
hypervigilance.
mm,
You had to be alert because everything you do could be the last thing you do. You have the ability to take someone's life, and you never know when you're going to run across someone that wants to take your own.
mm,
And it really was impacting time of my life. But I think my coping mechanism probably turned out to be activities such as exercise. I leaned on that. It was a time I could get away. I enjoyed outdoor activities as well. I like to get outside and fish and things like that, and even hunt a little bit. But it was probably outdoor activities and exercise that got me through.
yeah, yeah. Being able to get back into nature can be
Hmm.
very nurturing, can't it? So
Oh
so
yeah.
how long was your law enforcement career?
It was 24 years, and
Wow.
10 of which was on the SWAT team.
Hmm. And was it from uh, being in law enforcement and transitioning out of that that you decided to set up your own wellness business together with your wife, Michelle Sherwood?
Yeah, interestingly
Right.
enough, in
Yeah.
my last 7 or 8 years on the police department, I was transferred to the police academy,
Mm,
where I was in charge of recruiting and training and all of that stuff. But one of my assignments was to start a wellness program for the police officers, and there wasn't one. So I had to do my research and study. And Jane, there was one statistic that stuck out that was really the thing that was a catalyst to drive me onto my next career,
mm.
and it was the average age of death for a 20-year male retired police officer. It turned out it was 66 years of age, and
Really?
that broke my heart because that statistic had not changed in 50 years. And I just started studying, and I wanted to understand what you mentioned, the hypervigilance, the
Mm,
stress,
mm,
all that, what it did to the human being, what it did to mankind. And I realized that that was something that was happening to not just police officers, but really everybody.
mm,
And so I took the protection and service concept, and like that movie, Forrest Gump,
mm,
he kept on running, but I kept on studying, I guess. And so that just kind of led me down a pathway to believe that I could take the protection and service mantra, carry that forward into another more broad realm. And now I protect, people from themselves
mm.
and serve them the best I can.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. That statistic is frightening, isn't it?
Hmm.
66 years of age on
Yeah.
average for a police officer once once they leave the force and carry
Hmm.
on and transition into something different. And there must be so many factors that contribute to that because, as a general population, our lifespan is getting longer and longer and longer
Yes.
because, medical support and awareness of health and fitness and nutrition is so much better. So when you started the Functional Medical Institute, which is based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, tell me about that. What was the driving force, not only, obviously to help people with their health, but there must have been something that made you think, I need to set up my own practice to be able to support people. What was the driving force behind that? And then, were there any challenges in setting this up?
Well, yeah, there was
Mm.
challenges. What drove us there is my wife is an osteopathic doctor and I'm a naturopathic doctor.
Mm.
And Jane, she was fired from the system that she was working in because too many people got too well. In other words, too many people were getting well and weren't coming
Yeah.
back for return
Uh-huh.
visits, and she was told basically you weren't making us enough money. So
Mm.
she was fired. And so that was a catalyst. That's the same time that we met, and it was just such a wonderful thing that it worked out in timing. And it was just the catalyst to say, you know what, that system's broke. We need to have the courage to go out here and begin what needs to start. It's a place where people can get healed. It's a place where they can get information. It's a place where people can uh, get led down a pathway that leads to a better life, better health outcomes, and even better health span increase and longevity. And so it was a kind of a tragedy that birthed the miracle of the Functional Medical Institute.
Yeah. Isn't that sad that
Mhm.
a wellness business, such as the one that your wife was working in
Mhm.
before, would be so focused on profits over good health of people because, I mean, it's not to do with repeat business, it's to do with helping people to lead a really good life. And I think that puts into question the integrity of the businesses. And I think when you're running your own business, you
Yeah.
really have to be aware of what values are that drive you. So because that would have
Yeah.
really not sat well with her or with you as well. So that's formed the basis of you starting the Functional Medical Institute. And so, what's the mission of the institute? I'm sure that you have a very strong mission for.
We do. Our main mission statement is leading people down a pathway of true healing.
Mm,
And to do that, we have two purposes. One is to eradicate all self-imposed choice-driven diseases.
mm,
And number two is to eliminate all unnecessary use of medications.
mm.
And so when we do those two purposes, it drives the mission to leading people down a pathway of true healing, and we do that. And to your point about profits over people, our mantra is really that money follows truth. It's not the other way around. And so we've really tried our best, to keep that going with that really clear focus, and it's served us well.
Yeah, interesting. You know, eradicate choice imposed diseases. And
Right?
how true is that? We make ourselves sick, don't we?
We
Through
do.
choices that we make, if people are smoking or if they're drinking too much or they're eating absolute rubbish on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
not exercising, not doing all the things that, we've been educated. We know what makes us healthy, but
Right.
so many people don't do what they know would be good for them. Why is that? Why is it that it's almost like we're hell bent on ruining our health?
I think we have a leadership problem, and the popular thing is to do the wrong thing.
Mm,
The unpopular thing is to do the right thing. And it's becoming more and more like that in health. I mean, you go to a party and you don't drink. Well, you decide not to drink. That's your choice. What happens to you? People make fun of you, they ridicule you, they tease you, you're left out. Next time you're not invited. And that's the way that thing works. And in America right now, in my own country, our health is in the worst position it's ever been in the history of the world
mm,
right now. And we are doing a really good job of teaching the world what not to do and how to care for people. And so we've tried and we continue to endeavor to be the leaders out there and the voice of reason, as you said, to give people this idea. Well, today we wear our hope shirts on
Mm,
today, so don't wear this every day, but this is our one day of the week we
mm,
do as a staff, and to try to give people hope that there's a better way out there. There's an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. I really disagree with the profits over people
Oh,
mentality. The other day, I don't often have crisps, potato chips. And
mm,
I had a small packet of potato chips the other day, and I thought, oh gosh, this tastes so good. And I was thinking, why do I like this? Because it's very salty. I mean, more
mhm.
salty than we really need. But then it was very crunchy as well. And so it was crunchy, it was salty, it was flavorful. And then I had a look at the pack and I thought, how much of this is artificial?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I found this app that actually analyzes the QR code of some foods, and it was just the worst score it could possibly be. Everything in there was so bad for me, and I thought, why did I even buy it? But there are people who spend hours and hours and months creating a product that has just the right amount of crunch, just the
Yep.
right amount of salt that makes you go back for more and more. And therefore, we buy more and more of it, and we make
Mhm.
ourselves sick as a
We
result, or
do.
we make ourselves fat as a result of it. And and while I was thinking about this, I thought, oh my God. And so I threw it away. I threw it away thinking, I'm shocked at myself that I
Yeah,
actually succumbed to it. And but you do it without thinking. And
yeah,
so part of what you and Michelle do, you educate
we do.
your do you call them clients or patients or uh,
Um, we've
members or
tried we've tried to get away from calling them patients
yeah.
because we try to get drift toward maybe calling them part of our community
Mm,
because people want to be a part of something.
mhm,
When you have a patient, it's got this weird connotation that you are subject to medical care, and we do that. Yes, we're good at it, but we are really trying to subject them to a training, education, motivation, inspirational process that alters their life from a person that's always focused on what's wrong to a person that is living life to the fullest, focusing on what's right. And
mm.
it's a really good transition there to really living life to its fullest, I believe, Jane.
Yeah, I mean, it really is so important because we're only given one life, and I think it's
Yeah.
our duty to make the most of our time on this earth as well. And
Yes.
what I love as I was doing my research about your business was that you've co-authored five Amazon #1 bestsellers,
Mhm.
and there's one which is called The Quest for Wellness,
Yeah.
and Fork Your Diet. What a good name is that? Fork Your Diet. And I thought that's just a book. You've also got a movie about it as
Yeah.
well, which is very interesting. And you've appeared many times on national television, being
Mhm.
interviewed about wellness and health. And you've got this show called Furthermore, and a number of inspirational and faith-based films. One called The Last POTUS, which sounds very
Oh, yeah.
interesting, and
Hmm.
Wealthy Soul. I think you need to tell us about all of this as well. So tell me, first of all, the books came first. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Okay.
books came first.
Mm,
We wrote, I think, five, and then since then, I think we've written three more.
mm, mm,
We have another one coming out soon. It's going to be called Authentic Longevity. And it's kind of our legacy book, if you will. We put everything we know in there up to date. I mean, we went into every area of health we could find and put all we know in there. So that's going to be a nice handbook for people.
mm,
We see that as a volume one or maybe a edition one, second
mm,
edition, et cetera, as time goes
mm,
on.
mm. Authentic longevity. When will that be
Yes,
coming out?
probably at the middle to end of September 2025.
Okay. So in a few weeks' time, we'll be able
Yes,
to find authentic longevity on Amazon and all bookstores. Yes. Okay.
correct.
Definitely going to get myself a copy of that.
Mhm.
And what about the movies, the projects that you've worked on there? Because they sound really interesting because they're inspirational and faith-based
Yeah.
films. So tell me the premise of The Last POTUS.
The Last POTUS is actually an animated movie,
Mm,
and it's we did an animated because we wanted to appeal for the kids. We wanted to have something that really could talk political common sense, and it's about an ex-president that's
mhm,
he's a really good guy, and
Mm.
I'm the voiceover for him actually.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with his daughter who doesn't want any part of politics, but he
Mm.
realizes that loves people. And
Hmm.
so her love of people becomes a driving force to bring her back in. But there is evil in the world. And the
Mm.
evil is trying to take her down because they don't want her to be in a place of leadership. And
Mm.
kind of sounds familiar today, doesn't it, in
Yes.
modern day politics? So we
Yes.
put that in a position where kids can understand that so they can be the leader and not be ashamed of being a leader. So that's kind of the overriding premise of that one.
Yeah, yeah, and I like it that it's this person's daughter, and
Yes.
then so that they can become the person that they desire to be. And
Yeah.
I would expect that it must be if you can aim for something and you believe in yourself, you can achieve greatness. Is that what the principle of the film is?
It
Yes,
is,
and
and
do good
sometimes
as well.
fear can keep you from achieving what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
You need to walk past fear of what people think,
Yeah.
and you walk ahead of that, and it keeps you in a place of well, going forward as opposed to living based upon what other people think of you.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's so true because I think
Hmm.
most of us, as we grow up, we're quite humble, and then we think, oh, who am
Yeah,
I to think that I could be like that, or who
right.
am I to achieve? And then you end up with this self-limiting belief on your shoulder, and you don't go for what your potential could be simply
That's right.
because maybe somebody said, oh, you can't do that, or maybe it's just the voice in your head that says, oh, you can't do that as well. So
Yeah.
that sounds like a really empowering film. What about Wealthy Soul?
Wealthy Soul is going to be out pretty much any time now,
Mm.
September of 2025 again,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it'll be out there on all the different streaming networks. But
Hmm.
it's about the story of a guy who ended up homeless,
Hmm.
and it's bringing highlight to the homelessness situation that everybody has a story. And this guy turns out through the movie to be this absolutely just amazing human being that had a tragedy that brought him there. But even though he's there, he's still out there helping people throughout the course of the movie. And I happen to be one of the people in the movie that I'm a really bad guy, but he saved my life.
Mm.
But see, I have a problem with homeless people. And I have a problem with homeless people because it turns out that my own father in the movie became homeless. So
Uh,
through the twists and turns of the plot, this guy turns out to have saved all these people. And
mm.
at the end of the movie, it kind of comes together, and it's just a really heartwarming story to try to do two things: bring attention to the homeless people population to say that everybody does have a story. Some are tragedies, some are not, some are choices, etc. But we should begin to treat people differently
Mm.
and realize that just because they're in a circumstance does not mean they're a nobody. So
Exactly.
I think that's the message of that movie that we want to get across.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's such an important message as well because too
Mhm.
often when we see people who are down and out on their luck, basically,
Yeah,
people we go through times when things are great. We go through times when things are really tough. And when there are circumstances beyond your control that
mhm.
render you homeless or,
Yeah,
something else, maybe even worse, there is definitely a story behind it. And I think if everybody takes the time to listen to the stories and ask people, tell us a little bit about your life. This is why I love
yeah,
podcasting so much because I
it's
get to
great.
hear about people's lives and their journeys and what was
Yeah.
hard and how they made transitions and things like this. And so that's another film that I think we really must look out for because it sounds like it's going to tug on our heartstrings and make us think as well. I love
Yeah,
films that make us think and also help us to become better people. Yes.
I
So
agree.
the Functional Medical Institute, when someone finds out about the Functional Medical Institute, typically, how do they work with you? Do they come with you so that they have like a health assessment, or are they usually
Yep.
recommended to you, or do they come when they're very sick? I mean, what happens? Tell me exactly how people work with your institute.
The majority of people come to us by referrals. I
Mm.
think, Jane, now we have 25,000 people around the country and world we work with, and
Mm.
we're busy people, but it's based upon referrals. And so people have a great experience with us. They'll refer somebody and they'll eventually end up joining. And we do a big, lengthy health assessment.
Mm.
We do Zooms with people or live, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
I've worked with people in Australia before, New Zealand, etc.
Mm.
And you get to know them on a personal basis. You get to hear their story like you mentioned earlier. And when you hear their story, you can really understand who they are, how they are, what they are, and where they want to go. And
Mm,
then we work with them after that assessment to create a personalized plan and do everything we can to ensure that they're led down that pathway to give them their best life. And every plan we do with somebody is personalized, so it's unique to them.
mm. I was looking on your website and I was looking at some of the testimonials from your clients
Mhm.
that you've worked with, and one lady had had a thyroidectomy.
Yeah.
And after the thyroidectomy was having all sorts of health issues as well. And that resonated with me because my husband recently had a partial
Ah,
thyroidectomy.
yes.
And he's recovered from that now, but it took time. It really did take time. And if you have a full thyroidectomy, your hormones are out of balance and your
Right.
calcium's out of balance. And so I've been reading up a lot about it. And so when I saw that testimonial,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's really interesting. And so when people think, like the normal like Western medicine is not quite working. What else can I do? What are the therapies or methodologies that you employ?
Well, obviously, we're really good at diagnoses. We understand medicine,
Mm,
but we go upstream to determine what caused the disease process
mm,
in the first place, what caused the symptoms, and try to correct that. And to bring correction there, Jane, we look at all areas, including nutrition,
mm,
sleep, stress management, movement, and those four things we all can do. We all have some say so. We'll help you with that, but that's on us. And then
mm,
we look at genetics, hormones, peptides, and supplementation. And we're weaving all that information through the all aspects of the human person, the physical, emotional, spiritual aspect as well, because we don't live in a vacuum. So we put all that together and assess all those areas that gives them an opportunity to intentionally maximize those areas with functionality, and they do really well.
mm. And I think having accountability to ensure that you
Yeah.
stay on track is so important as well, because people tend to, they might go on a get fit program or a get
Mhm.
healthy program, and it's all very well on the 1st of January. And then, with
One week
the New
later.
Year's yeah, exactly. One max 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
have fallen off the wagon. I like it that you call yourselves hope healers.
Yeah.
Yes, that's your phrase, hope healers,
Yeah.
uh, based on the
Hope
four.
dealer right there.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I want one of those, Mark.
Uh, you send me your
Send me
address,
one.
I'll send
Yes.
you one of those. Yeah,
I like that because it'll be a good reminder not to eat that packet of chips.
that's right.
But I like it that it's based on four foundational pillars of health. Yes, the
Yep,
physical, the emotional, the intellectual, and the spiritual. You see, I've been reading up on this, and I
you
think
have.
uh, being able to look at our health in a holistic fashion is so
Yeah.
important because it's not just one aspect of our lives, it's everything, isn't it? It's how we view ourselves, it's how we view our bodies, it's our habits, having healthy habits as well.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it can be very hard to build a healthy habit that you stick with. And
Yeah.
so having someone to go to who knows what they're doing and has gone
Mm.
through difficult things in their own lives as well, such as you and Michelle, and then now you've
Yeah.
created this functional medical institute. I think it makes just wonderful sense as well. So even though you're based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you work globally. Is that
We
correct?
do.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Okay.
do. We have clients really all over the world.
Yeah. And what's the best way for people to reach you then, Mark?
Probably just our website at
Mhm,
sherwood.tv. It's our kind of our
mhm,
global brand
mhm,
website. And there's even a nice ebook on there. It's entitled Hope, Health, and Freedom that people can download for free. It's got a lot of these principles in there. And if nothing else, my hope is that people would receive that information and put it into practice
mhm,
so that they can, whether they work with us or not, they can have something to anchor to give them that hope that we just
mhm.
talked about. And
Yeah.
but people can reach out to us that way as well. There's a way to contact us. We have a free webinar we offer once a month that people can attend to ask us questions and schedule appointments.
Mhm. Oh, wonderful. So Sherwood.tv. I'll put that in
Yes,
my show notes so people can click through very easily. And the book that they can download is Hope, Health, and Freedom. I mean,
correct.
that's what we all wish for, isn't it?
Oh
That's
yeah.
absolutely wonderful. So are there any parting thoughts that you would like to leave with us before I say goodbye for today, because I think it'll be very good to have you back on the show again
For
in the
sure.
future and discuss how things have progressed too. So, final thoughts from you, Mark.
Well, I appreciate you having me, first of all. I'm really grateful and honored to be with you. But I think the final thoughts, I know that you talk about changing careers here, and I was thinking about this, a little nugget that I could leave people. And here it is. And don't let fear of failure keep you from your success of the future. Don't look backwards, but look forward. So sometimes the greatest fear you face is at the door of the greatest opportunity. So learn to walk past fear and
Yeah.
learn to walk into success.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That's going to really help my career transition clients, because
Yeah,
there is a lot of fear at the moment
there is.
with
Mhm.
regard to the job search process and
Yeah.
marketing and how many roles are out there and organizational change. And I think the most important thing that people must remember when they're going through transition is to look after their physical and mental health. Their
100%.
wellness really matters. And when you're feeling a little bit of a wobble, then it's good to know that there are people like you, Mark and Michele Sherwood, that people can come to and get the support that they need as well. So thank you so much for your time today, Mark. I really appreciate it. And I
My
look forward
pleasure.
to chatting with you again very soon.
That sounds great, Jane. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Your Career Podcast, please subscribe, because it helps me to reach more people looking for career inspiration and support. And I have something for you. Download my career resources at janejacksoncoach.com. While you're there, take my 2-minute career success quiz. You'll get your results and analysis immediately, and recommendations tailored to your specific career needs. See you soon.